Welcome to Creepy Narratives. In this episode, we'll explore strange things that happen late at night in a Walmart store. These tales turn ordinary places into mysteries. Join us for Walmart's Midnight Secrets. So, this one time, there was this guy named Mike. He worked the night shift at Walmart, restocking shelves and stuff. Nothing too exciting, just a regular job to pay the bills. Now, Mike had heard some creepy stories about working at Walmart late at night. You know, strange noises, weird customers and all that. But he didn't really believe it, thought it was just people trying to spook him. One night, though, things got real strange. Mike was in the electronics section, stacking DVDs, when he heard giggling, like creepy giggling, coming from the toy aisle. He figured it was some kids messing around, so he went to check it out. But when he got there, the toy aisle was empty. No kids, no customers, nothing. Just rows of toys and that weird, echoing laughter. He thought maybe it was a toy malfunction or something, so he shrugged it off and went back to work. A little while later, he was in the break room, taking a quick break and sipping on his coffee. That's when he heard it again. The giggling. Only this time, it was closer, like right outside the break room door. Mike's heart started racing, and he got that cold feeling in his stomach. He slowly opened the door and peeked out into the dimly lit store. And there, at the end of the aisle, he saw a figure. It was a woman, but she was dressed in this old-fashioned, tattered dress, like something from the 1800s. Her hair was all wild, and she had this eerie smile on her face. Mike called out, "Hey, ma'am, are you lost or something?" But she didn't answer. She just kept giggling and started walking away, disappearing into the darkness of the store. Now, Mike was freaked out. He went back to the break room and called his manager, telling him about the weird lady in the store. The manager said he'd check the security cameras, but when he did, there was no sign of her. It was like she vanished into thin air. Mike finished his shift that night, but he couldn't shake the feeling that something was seriously off about that Walmart. He never worked the night shift again after that, and he always avoided the toy aisle. To this day, Mike swears that what he saw was real, and he'll never forget that creepy giggling and the woman in the old-fashioned dress. And if you ever find yourself in Walmart late at night, keep an eye out. You never know what you might come across in those empty aisles when the store goes quiet. Now let's dig into Tom's story. He had this job at Walmart, working late shifts to make a living. Tom had heard some strange tales about the place, like folks seeing weird things or hearing odd noises after dark. But he never thought much of it, thinking it was just folks trying to spook each other. One night, they put Tom in charge of checking the shelves in the grocery section. It was late, and the store was quiet, just him and rows of food and stuff. He was doing his thing, counting cereal boxes and cans when he heard it. A voice. It was real soft at first, like a whisper in the wind. Tom looked around, thinking maybe a coworker was fooling around, but he couldn't spot anyone. He shook his head and kept on counting. But then, that voice got louder. It was saying his name, Tom. Tom. Tom felt a chill run down his spine. He knew he was alone in that aisle, but that voice was coming from somewhere close. So, Tom started following the sound. It was leading him further into the grocery section, like a trail he couldn't resist. As he turned a corner, he saw something strange. An old shopping cart. But this wasn't just any cart. It was one of those antique ones, the kind Walmart hadn't used in years. And you guessed it, the voice was coming from that cart, calling out for help. Tom didn't waste a second. He grabbed the source of that voice, a battered, grubby doll with no eyes and ragged clothes, and stuffed it into a shopping bag. He tied it up real tight and hightailed it out of there. He told his manager what happened, and they decided to lock the weird doll in a storage closet until they could figure things out. But when they checked the closet the next day, that doll had up and vanished, leaving them scratching their heads. Tom swears he heard that spooky voice calling his name from that old doll in the middle of Walmart's grocery section. He never went near that part of the store again, always wondering what other strange mysteries the place might be hiding when the night falls. Late into the night, when the bustle of shoppers had long faded away, Dave worked his usual shift at Walmart. He was the kind of guy who never really believed in all those spooky stories about the store. Until one night, something happened that changed his mind. As he went about his duties, he noticed something strange. There was a shopper, a person, standing perfectly still in one of the aisles. The thing was, this shopper had been there for hours, not moving an inch, not picking up a single item. Dave figured it was some oddball customer who lost track of time. He approached the aisle and politely asked if they needed any help, but the person didn't respond. It was like they were in a trance. Dave tried again, a bit louder this time, but still, no response. He even reached out to gently touch the person's shoulder, but when he did, they turned to face him, and that's when he saw it. Their eyes were completely white, like there was nothing behind them. A shiver ran down Dave's spine. He backed away, his heart racing. He'd never seen anything like this before. He called his co-worker, Sarah, over to witness it too. The two of them watched as the person slowly turned and went back to just standing there, like a mannequin. Dave and Sarah exchanged bewildered glances. What on earth was going on? They decided to alert the manager, hoping for some explanation. When the manager arrived with a security guard, the person was gone. No trace of them, no indication they had ever been there. Dave couldn't shake the strange encounter. He tried to find out if anyone else had seen this odd shopper, but no one had. It was like the person appeared for him and Sarah alone. From that night on, Dave couldn't help but feel a bit uneasy during his late-night shifts at Walmart. He kept an eye on that particular aisle, half expecting the phantom shopper to reappear. And in the quiet, dimly lit aisles, he couldn't help but wonder what other mysteries the store might hold when the world outside was fast asleep. That's all for our spooky stories from Walmart at midnight. We hope you enjoyed them. To hear more chilling tales, subscribe to Creepy Narratives and click the notification bell. Thanks for joining us. Remember, in our world, everyday places can become extraordinary.